Hello, Taurus. Let's begin with honesty, the kind you rarely speak out loud. Because I know something about you that not everyone sees. You're the one who keeps everything running, the one who shows up, the one who stays grounded, steady, capable, even when everything inside you feels like it's falling apart. You don't make noise about your pain. You carry it, you adapt, you endure, and the world often mistakes that silence for strength, never realizing that what you're holding in your chest is heavier than most people will ever know. There's something you've been living with. Taurus akiet ache. An unanswered question. A pressure that never fully lifts. It doesn't scream. It doesn't break you. But it's there. A feeling that life has been asking too much from you for too long. And yet you've continued anyway. Because you don't know how not to. You've asked yourself, late at night or in moments of exhaustion, why does it feel like I'm always holding everything together for everyone but myself? Or maybe, why can't I find the kind of peace that seems so easy for others? You've been the stable one, the loyal one, the strong one, but being strong doesn't mean you've been unscathed. And being dependable doesn't mean your soul hasn't grown tired from all the weight it's been carrying. Taurus. I want to say this gently. The reason your life has felt so intense beneath the surface isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because your soul came here with a deeper mission, and that mission is about to reveal itself. Before this month ends, before September closes its final door, a sign will arrive, a sign that will speak to you with such clarity that you won't be able to ignore it. It won't be vague. It won't be wrapped in symbols you have to decipher. It will be direct, undeniable, and deeply personal. This is not just about external events. It's about a truth you've been circling for years, maybe even lifetimes, and now, finally, the moment is coming where you will see exactly why your path has unfolded the way it has. But I need to prepare you, because this sign will not show up as comfort. It won't arrive wrapped in ease. It may come as a disruption, a challenge, a moment that catches you off guard and shakes the structure you've worked so hard to protect. It may not feel like a blessing when it arrives. But that's because it won't be here to soothe you, it will be here to awaken you, to show you the truth behind your endurance, to reveal the purpose beneath your pain, and to finally put the missing pieces of your story into place. Taurus, you weren't meant to live a soft, surface-level life. Even though part of you craves simplicity, even though you long for quiet days and safe love and predictable rhythms, your soul chose a path of deeper becoming, and that path requires transformation, not chaos, not destruction, but real, lasting transformation. The kind that happens slowly, the kind that changes your roots before it ever shows in your branches, and the reason you felt so frustrated, so worn down, so misunderstood is because you've been resisting a truth that your soul already knows. You're not just here to survive this life. You're here to evolve through it. You're here to understand yourself beyond the labels, beyond the roles, beyond the expectations. And the sign that's coming will show you what you've been missing all along, that your pain was never punishment, it was preparation. I know that's hard to believe when you've given so much and received so little in return. When you've kept showing up for people who forgot how to show up for you, when you've made sacrifices that no one acknowledged, held space for others while your own needs went unheard. I know it's exhausting to feel like the solid ground for everyone else, while your own roots feel like they're cracking beneath you. But you need to hear this now, not later. You were never meant to carry all of this alone. This sign, this moment that's approaching, will not ask you to do more. It will ask you to see more, to see yourself clearly, to stop defining your worth by what you can hold, to stop believing that you have to prove your value through your patience, your silence, or your ability to endure what hurts. This is the moment where your story begins to shift, not because someone comes to save you, but because you finally decide to stop betraying yourself for the sake of keeping everything together. There's a version of your life that you haven't fully stepped into yet. One where you are not the background character in other people's stories. One where your needs, Your joy, your truth are no longer optional. That version is waiting on the other side of this sign, and when it arrives, you will recognize it. You'll feel it not in your mind, but in your body, in your gut, in the stillness between two breaths, a click, a moment, a knowing. But here's the part that matters most. You will have to choose. In part 2, I'm going to show you exactly how this sign will arrive depending on when you were born and how to not miss it when it comes. Because if you're not paying attention, if you're still trying to hold the pieces together when the shift happens, you might let the moment pass by without realizing it was the turning point you've been waiting for. So stay with me. Because Taurus, this time, it's your foundation that's being rebuilt. And this time, it's not for anyone else. It's for you. Taurus, I want to prepare you for something most people won't say out loud because they're too afraid you'll walk away from it. But I trust your strength. I trust your depth. And I trust your ability to hear the truth, even when it doesn't sound like comfort. The sign that's coming for you before this month ends, it won't feel like a gift when it first arrives. It will not be wrapped in softness. It won't knock on your door politely with words of affirmation or come as a gentle invitation toward clarity. No. This sign will come more like a break in the rhythm, a ripple in the ground you've been trying so hard to keep steady, a moment that feels disruptive, unexpected, maybe even unfair. But that disruption, that crack, is exactly what you've been needing because it's going to reveal the truth you've been dancing around for years. It will show you what you've been unwilling to face, the patterns you've repeated out of fear, the relationships you've held onto out of habit, the betrayals you've swallowed just to keep the peace, the decisions you've made from a place of wounded loyalty instead of self-worth. It will expose the quiet grief you've never spoken about, the buried fear that you're not really allowed to change, the voice inside you that has whispered, "If I want love, imos tendura." Taurus, this sign may arrive through crisis, a shift in work, a confrontation, a change in someone close to you, or a moment that feels like everything is up in the air. It may come through an encounter that feels strangely mirrored, someone who reflects back to you the very parts of yourself you've tried not to see. Or it may take the form of a choice, one that asks you to leave behind something that once felt essential to your identity, even though it's been draining your spirit for years. It won't be easy. It's not supposed to be. But here's what's essential to remember. Just because something doesn't feel good doesn't mean it isn't good for you. Just because a moment feels like a collapse doesn't mean it isn't also a beginning. You've spent so much of your life creating stability, holding on to routines, people, and beliefs that helped you survive. And for a long time, that was enough. But this next version of your life, the one your soul is aching to step into, can't be built on the foundations of quiet sacrifice anymore. It can't be born from the same survival instincts that kept you small. It needs truth. It needs movement. It needs surrender. And that's what this sign is, bringing a sacred disruption designed not to harm you, but to unearth you, to pull you out from beneath all the weight you've agreed to carry, to bring to light the corners of your soul that have been waiting for your permission to breathe again. So when it comes, when everything in you wants to tighten, to hold on, to go silent, I ask you to do something different. Pause. Don't run. Don't explain it away. Don't bury it under logic or routine or the familiar armor of "I'm fine." Fail it. Stand in it. Let the wave move through you. Let it show you what needs to change, not because something is wrong with you, but because something is finally waking up in you. In part 3, we'll talk about how this moment will unfold differently depending on when you were born and how to recognize your version of the sign when it arrives. Because it won't look the same for every Taurus, but it will be felt deeply, viscerally. And if you know what to look for, you won't miss it. So stay with me. This moment won't feel like safety, but it will be truth. And truth is the only thing strong enough to carry the life you've always known was meant for you. Now, Taurus, let's go even deeper, because while the transformation ahead will touch all of you in some way, it won't arrive the same for every soul born under your sign. The universe is not careless. It is precise. It knows exactly when and how to reach you. Based on the rhythm of your spirit and the story your life has already been telling, depending on when you were born, the message will come through a different doorway. And understanding this timing will help you recognize your sign when it appears, no matter how subtle or disruptive it may feel in the moment. If you were born between April 20th and April 30th, the sign will come through a person. But not just any person. This is someone who functions as a kind of spiritual mirror. You may meet them for the first time, or they may already be present in your life. But something about your connection will shift dramatically, suddenly, through a single conversation, a gesture, or even a silence. They will reflect back a part of you that you've been unwilling or unable to see. This won't be comfortable. It may stir shame, longing, or realization, but it will be real. This person won't tell you who you are. They will simply show you what you've become, and more importantly, what you've outgrown. And if you can stay open, even through the discomfort, this encounter could be the very key that unlocks a deeper truth about your worth, your needs, and what you no longer have to compromise for love. If your birthday falls between May 1st and May 10th, your message will arrive through a situation, a disruption, a moment that forces you to confront a fear that has been shaping your decisions for years, perhaps without your awareness. It could be financial, emotional, or relational. It might feel like something is being taken away, or something you thought was secure is suddenly in question. But beneath the outer event is an ancient belief, one that says you're only safe if you don't change. This moment will challenge that belief head on. It will ask you to look directly at the fear you've been avoiding, the fear of instability, the fear of being alone, the fear of losing control. And what you'll discover, if you stay present, is that the fear was never real power. It was only ever a placeholder for the deeper strength that's been buried beneath it all along. And for those of you born between May 11th and May 20th, your sign will arrive as an opportunity. But here's what you need to know. It won't feel like an opportunity right away. It may look like a risk, a leap, something unfamiliar and emotionally charged. Your instinct may be to reject it, delay it, or convince yourself that you're not ready. But that hesitation isn't truth. It's your comfort zone speaking. And this opportunity, whether it's a new direction, a creative invitation, or the potential to rebuild something that once seemed lost, is the very thing your soul has been asking for. It may require you to let go of old roles. It may stretch your idea of what you're capable of. But if you step toward it, even with trembling hands, you'll discover that what looked like fear was actually freedom waiting in disguise. Taurus. None of these signs will come through logic alone. They will arrive through feeling, through synchronicity, through the moment when your body responds before your mind can explain it. You may feel a tightness in your chest, a rush of emotion you can't place, a sudden clarity followed by tears. You may feel like something is breaking, but what's breaking is the false self you've built to protect the part of you that has always known what you were meant for. Taurus, it's time to remember something your soul has always known. You are not a victim of what life has taken you through. You are a vessel of what you've survived, a living record of how strength is formed through patience, how power is forged in stillness, and how truth is revealed not in the easy moments, but in the ones that nearly broke you. You were not created to live a quiet life of denial. You weren't born to just meet expectations, maintain appearances, or follow paths that have already been carved by someone else. Even though the world often asks you to be predictable, to stay where it's safe, to keep the peace at the cost of your own expansion, there is something inside you that refuses. That something is your deeper design. The part of you that knows how to start again after endings, the part of you that rebuilds without bitterness, the part of you that turns silence into strength and stillness into vision. You were made to rise again and again and again, not because you were meant to suffer, but because your spirit is encoded for transformation. And that's why every wound you've carried wasn't just pain. It was a doorway. Each heartbreak you endured a portal. Each moment you stood alone, a passage. Each chapter you thought was the end, a quiet invitation to begin again. This time from a place more rooted in truth than ever before. Taurus, if you look back over the past 5, 10, even 20 years, you'll see it. The pattern, the way you've never stayed down for long, the way you've always found a way to keep going, even when the wait didn't make sense. The way you've evolved in ways you didn't choose and yet, somehow, always came out wiser than you were before. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's soul memory. That's divine preparation. The universe has not been punishing you. It has been preparing you because there is something greater waiting for you, not just on the outside, but within. And the sign that's coming in these final days of September will reveal that purpose to you with more clarity than you've ever received before. It won't look like validation from others. It won't come with applause. It will come as an inner knowing, a click of realization, a moment when all of your past suffering suddenly makes sense because it shaped you into someone capable of holding what is finally arriving. And let me be clear, you are not standing at just another crossroad. You are standing before the final gate, the one that separates the version of you who was always trying to survive from the version of you who is ready to live. No more asking for permission to rest. No more betraying yourself just to be chosen. No more shrinking to fit into lives that were never built to hold your fullness. The lessons you've learned through hardship have sculpted you into someone who cannot be broken in the same way again. And that's why this moment, this upcoming sign, is not here to test you, it's here to release you. But to receive it, you must stop looking at your pain as something that made you weaker. It made you clearer. It made you wiser. It made you real. The part of you that has been afraid to trust again, to try again, to hope again, that part is not weak. It's simply tired. Tired of building foundations that never lasted. Tired of giving too much without receiving enough. Tired of holding out for a future that always seemed just one step out of reach. But what if I told you the future isn't out of reach anymore? What if I told you it's already here and it's you who needs to step forward to meet it in part 5? We'll talk about what might stop you from crossing that final threshold, the subtle ways Taurus self-sabotages in the name of safety, and how to recognize when you're protecting a wound instead of protecting your growth. Because Taurus, you weren't meant to remain a caretaker of old pain. You were meant to become a keeper of new life. And the moment to claim it is almost here. Taurus, if you've listened this far, then you already know the sign you've been waiting for isn't just something that will happen outside of you. It's something that's been rising within you for a very long time. You felt it in the restlessness that doesn't go away, in the quiet ache for more, in the way the life you've carefully held together no longer fits like it used to. That's not confusion. That's alignment catching up with you. And now you're standing on the edge of something that cannot be undone. You've outgrown the silence. You've outgrown the roles that required you to abandon your own needs just to be accepted. You've outgrown the belief that love must be earned through suffering. All that's left is the decision: will you keep carrying the version of you that was built to endure, or will you finally step into the one that was made to receive? The sign will come. It may not feel like light at first. It may feel like a door closing, a conversation that shakes you, a truth you can no longer ignore. But whatever form it takes, you will know. You will feel it. And when that moment arrives, I want you to remember this. You are not too late, too broken, too tired, or too far gone. You are right on time. You are being rerouted, not rejected. And what's on the other side of this is not a reward for your suffering, it is your birthright. So take a deep breath. Let go of the urge to rush toward clarity or force understanding. Just be still long enough to hear the voice that's been speaking through your silence all along. And when the moment comes, Taurus, say yes. Not because you know where the road leads, but because you finally know who you are, and that is enough.